Hello students, we'll continue the session the Government of India Act of 1935. The Government of India Act 1935 having 321 sections and 10 schedules. We'll see what are the features of this act. In this act there were the three listed federal list for center with 59 items, provincial list for provinces with 54 items, and concurrent list for both with 36 items. Another feature is that it abolished the diarchy in the provinces and introduced provincial autonomy in its places. The provinces were allowed to act as autonomous units of administration in their defined sphere. To provide for the adoption of diarchy at the center, consequently the federal subjects were divided into reserve objects and transfer subjects. However, this provision of the Act did not come into operation at all. Another main feature that it introduced bicameralism in 6 out of 11 provinces, that is Bengal, Bombay, Madras, Bihar, Assam, and some united provinces. Second, it further extended the principle of communal representation by providing separate electorates for depressed classes, that is scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, and also for women's and laborers, that that is the workers. Next, it abolished the Council of India established by the Government of India Act of 1858. The Secretary of State for India was provided with a team of advisors. It provided for the establishment of Reserve Bank of India to control the currency of the country. Also, the main feature is that it provided for the establishment of not only the Federal Public Service Commission but also a Provincial Public Service Commission, Joint Public Service Commission for two or more provinces. After this, the Indian Independence Act of 1947 comes into picture. That is, on February 20, 1947, the British Prime Minister Clement Attlee declared that the British rule in India would end by June 30, 1948, after which the power would be transferred to responsible Indian hands. Definitely, on 15 August 1947, we have got the independence, but still the British has continued their administration to streamline the administration procedure in India. This announcement was followed by the agitation by the Muslim League demanding partition of the country. Again on June 3, 1947, the British government made it clear that any constitution framed by the Constituent Assembly of India cannot apply to those parts of the country which were unwilling to accept it. On the same day, that is on 3rd June 1947, Lord Mountbatten, the Viceroy of India, put forth the partition plan known as Mountbatten Plan. This plan was accepted by the Congress Party and the Muslim League at that time. With immediate effect was given to the plan by enacting the Indian Independence Act 1947. There were the features of this act. It ended the British rule in India and declared India as an independent and sovereign state on 15th August 1947. Next, to abolish the office of the Secretary of the State for India and transfer his function to the Secretary of State for Commonwealth Affairs. Next, it granted freedom to the Indian princely states either to join the Dominion of India or Domain of Pakistan or to remain independent. The main features of this act were it deprived the British monarch to its right to veto bills or ask for reservation of certain bills for his approval. But this right was reserved for the Governor General. The Governor General had full power to assent any bill in the name of His Majesty. It granted freedom to the Indian Prince States either to join the Dominion of India or Domain of Pakistan or to remain independent. So these are the features of the Act which were passed in Indian Independence Act of 1947. Thank you. We'll continue in the next lecture.